I'm live again here with Connolly. See, now we just bumped into Abel Sanchez. No one knows you, but you've been there since 14 years old. What was it about Daniel? I know you said there was a glow, but what was it about him that has made you stick with him through so long? Because in the amateurs, while he was quite a good amateur, we've seen him, you know, go down a few times with Sean Porter, who now is a 147-pounder. What was it that said, this guy's going to be a star, this guy's going to share a pay-per-view on the biggest stage?
Well, first of all, it's not about just business with me and Danny. We really are friends, almost like family. I think I said it earlier in the press conference. Our families spend time together, our kids play together. So, business is really secondary in our relationship. It's more about our relationship. And the reason I stuck with him is, listen, it's the same reason everybody likes Danny Jacobs. He's a personal guy. He's a great guy. He comes from the highest of character. A lot of guys in boxing, they're street guys. Danny is a clean-cut kid with a good heart. And listen, he's gone through a lot, not just in the boxing ring. Obviously, it's well documented outside the boxing ring. But he's got the heart of a champion. He's a great guy. So it was easy to stick with him, believe me.
Now for Jacobs, he suffered obviously a lot of hatred in the media. People automatically assume he wouldn't take this fight, that he didn't want it, maybe because of the advisor or manager role with Al Heyman, the networks, the conflict. How was everything able to come together for this one? Well,
we told Al that we really wanted the fight. There was never a doubt. There was never a hesitation to take the fight. It was just about what I felt was a comfortable amount for Danny to get in the ring. It's all about risk reward. It's a business. And, I had shared my sentiments with Danny on what I thought was a fair compensation, because I do think it's going to be a big fight. I think it's going to be a lot bigger than people think. I think the turnout at the press conference today, just the atmosphere, proves that. And I don't want Danny going in and getting shortchanged. So, it was a long, tedious negotiation. It took 3 months. It was a full 3 months because I was on the phone with Al every day for 90 days. But Al Heyman always comes through. He got us every single thing that we wanted and then some. So we're comfortable going into the fight from the business aspect. Now it's about putting the right things together and on the boxing side and making sure we come out victorious March 18th.
Now, was it more than just the financials? Was the location? Because I know that Danny is tied to Brooklyn boxing, but Gennady is Madison Square Garden.
We wanted it in the Barclays Center. We did. That was never a demand. That was never one of the sticking points. We wanted to see if we could work it out to be in the Barclays because of our relationship with the Barclays Center and Brett Yormark. He's always had Danny's back. So, but that was never a point that in the negotiations where we said we won't take the fight unless it's in Barclays. It was really about the financials. We also insisted on drug testing because obviously a lot of these
VADA?
Yes, VADA. A lot of these Eastern European fighters have been caught in the past. So, and let's be honest, and you can go in the ring and you could die.
But Gennady has been doing VADA ever since he became the WBC interim champion, because WBC and VADA are together now.
Right, and he has done that, but he's also done it when he fought a welterweight. He's going to fight a middleweight. And if you saw and you look closely on stage, not only is Danny bigger, but he's sizably bigger than Gennady. So it's easy to go in and beat a 147-pound guy. And Kell Brook is a top 147 guy. He's an elite fighter, but not at middleweight. So now he's got to go in against an elite middleweight. A lot of people keep talking about the Perot fight, and that's why Danny's an 8-to-1 underdog. What people never talk about, because we don't really give excuses, is that Danny going into that fight felt pain in his back, felt weakness in his legs. We were thinking about pulling him out. We never did it. And looking back, that was my mistake. 6 months later, we find out he has a tumor wrapped around his spine that cut off any circulation from the waist down. He literally was paralyzed from the waist down. So people don't talk about that. The tumor was there, I think. We don't have any medical proof it was there, but I don't think a tumor overnight grows around your spine and cuts off circulation. So we think the tumor was there ahead of time. So when people bring up the Perot fight, I really laugh that off, because we're not only a totally different fighter, but Danny's totally healthy right now. The cancer's gone. There's no weakness in the legs. There's no, pain in the back. So March 18th, he'll be 100%. And that's why I said on stage, I think not only are you going to win, but I think we're going to shock a lot of people how easily we win.
Now, obviously, you being the manager, you being there since 14 years old, the viewing public is going to say, well, he has a bias, he has an invested interest. So how can you convince the people that think that he is a bit chinny that he's not?
I don't need to convince them because the fight's going to happen in
Regardless.
2 months. So, you know what, we're going to find out quickly. And everybody talked about Danny's chin, and I guess rightly so, because of the Perot fight, which I totally discount. But a lot of people look at the Mora fight, and yeah, he got caught getting cocky and coming in. I think the real intrigue in the fight is we got to see what Triple G's chin is like. If he has a Marvin Hagler type chin, then Danny's going to have to, if he's going to win, he's going to have to do it by decision. But you know, I have a funny feeling he doesn't have the Marvin Hagler type chin.
Last one, what was the biggest, I guess, demand, right? You said finances, which most boxing fans, they gravitate to that. They say, oh, he wanted too much money, he priced himself out. Well, you guys obviously took care of that. You said VADA, drug testing, something that's big. We've seen Bermain Stavern just have to pull out of the fight because of Alexander Povetkin testing positive a second time. What was that third sticking point or demand that needed to be met?
There wasn't a third sticking point. It was about the money and the drug testing. Once that got to a level that I was comfortable, we agreed to the fight, but I don't think there was ever a point where we thought the fight wasn't going to happen. And we proved people wrong that we didn't want the fight by taking it, and we're going to prove people wrong March 18th when we knock out Triple G within 5 rounds.
Within 5?
Within 5 rounds.
Nice, Keith. So thank you so much for the opportunity. The man behind the man. Everyone assumes that Al Haymon is the one in charge, but you're really Daniel Jacobs' manager. And you said in the press conference today that you had key details that you needed before this fight could be finalized that you and obviously Daniel Jacobs wanted. Can you just shed some light on what are some of the details that needed to be in place before this fight could actually take place?
Well, first of all, Al's the manager, I'm the advisor. So, you know, there's a cross between those two titles, but, you know, Al's been integral, obviously, in pushing Danny and pushing all the right buttons to get us in place for this big fight. But it was more along the lines of details, obviously getting the money right, which is the most important thing, because this is a business. It's not just a sport. It's a sport for the fans, but it's a business for the fighters.
All right, so you were saying that it's intricate because Al Haymon is just the advisor, the manager, so you're the advisor.
I'm the advisor, Al's the manager. I mean, obviously, it's integral because Al is the one with, you know, the connections with the channels like Showtime and PBC, free network television. So he's the main guy. You want to get him?
Hi, good night. Yeah, I'm sorry, Keith.
Just like genetic, that's what they skip for, you know, before they want to play for you. They try to, you know, focus out, trying to snap something public. So I don't know, maybe, yeah.
No, you know, we take sparring as an owner. I might have to spar 6 rounds. What I'm saying. I'm happy with it. Any particular day, I might say, come on, let's get out.
No, this dude disappeared.
Well, Virgil offered and I've known Andre Moore for 23 years. Andre Moore,
Man, I just don't know if I'm with the scene.
just to be around. I saw
How's he so smart? It's Patrick. The dumbest guy I ever saw. He's looking down and he knows his cover. He's throwing right at the other guy, right at the corners. You tell me how that's possible. No one talk. We can talk.
This is going to be really fun. Good job. Thank you again.
We'll see.
the sight in the game, cause see the boxing voice.